so you can bring up your slides.
Thanks a lot.
And I'm trying to remember, we met in Telrun, I think, the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So you, Daria, and I can't remember the other.
Yes, and Svetlana. Yeah, there were many of us. Yeah, my favorite conference. That was amazing.
That
Okay.
was a fun conference.
Yeah. Thanks a
Great.
lot. Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready to go. Thanks for being here. I've got the timer, and let me just pin your video. Hang on, and okay, all yours.
Thanks. Thank you. Everyone, thanks a lot for being here. And I'm really happy to be a part of this community today. And well, today I have only 10 minutes to talk about the thing I have been so much enthusiastic about and the power of this thing, which is called multimodality. So over to it. We don't have a lot of time, so let's start. The first thing is when it comes to learning and teaching, we tend to use monotonous monomodal text. Actually, this text is not monomodal, but it contains basically textual modes. What does that mean? Well, this text is a combination of symbols, these symbols get into words, these words get into sentences. Come on. It's really boring. So what I actually do, I work a lot with exam prep classes, and I prepare students a lot for first certificate, for IELTS, and so on. And all kinds of texts which we see there are, roughly speaking, monomodal. But probably we can explore the potential of the text in order to make it more interesting, more engaging, and possibly more resembling the text that our learners tend to deal with on a regular basis. Where do they deal with the text? Mainly on the internet. What kind of text do they see? Text like this? No, I'm not sure about. So why am I so bad to this text? Well, the thing is easy. First of all, the major evil is this text doesn't have visuals. If you go on Instagram, if you go on Facebook, any post should have a visual, right? Yeah, there are posts which are without visuals, but they are not so widely read. What do you think? Over-reliance on linguistic means, which means that if I don't know some words, for example, I don't understand what kinds of blatant means or violations, I won't be able to get what's happening in Malaysia. Next thing, limited range of colors and fonts. Well, gray, dark, and white. Yeah, whatever, and black. Lack of emotional engagement as a result of it, because even this picture, it gives you a kind of a sense of emotional engagement that something is being banned or whatever. Over-reliance on learners' reading skills and strategies, right? So if the learner is unable to read effectively, right, for the academic exam and so on, he won't be able to interact with this text to a really essential extent. So what can we do about this? You will see the same text, but a little bit more modified. This is a multimodal text. What is good about it? It has the same name, but what happens is visual engagement. You look at this wonderful rubbish dump and you want to ask, what is happening? What is happening to this place? So you are already engaged. Will you read on? Yes, you will. What happens next? We will look at the colors and we will look at different vectors which we see. And we will see that most of the countries are orange and only China is green. And probably we will try to find out, why do we need it? Probably the text on the right will help us a bit, and it will say that China was the country which decided to get rid of some kind of plastic scrap, which was disposed by some developed countries to it, and the rule was given to poor Malaysia. And why do we understand that some kind of garbage is bad? Well, we see this sign of the hazard. Yes, so basically we understand that some signs, some pictures, and some colors, and actually vectors, which go to poor Malaysia, here they are, they intersect here, they actually show us what is happening. What helped me distinguish between different kinds of symbols in this text? Well, my knowledge in multimodality, and they developed visual literacy. You may ask, yes, why do we need it? So Kress and Van Leeuwen, like one of them was, and another one, thank God, still is. Actually, other people who have been developing the multimodal ideas for quite a long time, including the insights, amazing insights into the visual literacy in terms of colors, which could serve as frames and fields, and they actually show us like where one topic finishes and another starts, or probably highlighting some important information. Vectors, just like in the previous one, shapes, shape of the hazard, for example, yeah, biohazard. Personalization, when we see like a picture, a photo, which of a person who looks straight into your eyes. Isn't it personalized? Yes, of course, you will be emotionally connected or emotionally attached, and you will be interested in the text, and you will be asking, why is he looking at me like that? Well, layout and positioning, it also matters, because basically when it comes to semiotics and when it comes to visual literacy, we need to understand that if we have something at the top, this is the information which is kind of what may happen in the future, while the information in the bottom is the current situation. So is this garbage dump really like a realistic site? Probably somewhere it is, but not like this yet. So it is something which may provisionally happen. On the left, we usually or normally give the familiar information, while on the right, we give the new information. Of course, if you come from Japan, it will be swapped somehow, but well, that's a thing, that's a good thing to know. When a person wants to find some new information and this person comes from Europe, usually this person looks on the right. So let's move on to the next thing. And here comes another question. How many skills do we have to interact with when we are teaching English? Reading, listening, speaking, writing, and viewing plus representing. Viewing is basically about visual literacy. Representing is basically about being able to reproduce what we have just seen. So probably it's a productive skill, representing, and a receptive skill, viewing. Well, let's look at the listening text. What is interesting about this text? Is it multimodal or monomodal? Thank you, dear authors, that you have given this amazing, huge picture of a spectacled bear. Many students don't know or don't seem to know what spectacled bears are, and if you have problems with your eyes, probably you won't even be able to distinguish it from a hamster, but who knows? And as long as this picture is really small and small in our, like, when it comes to our cognitive patterns, we think that, well, small means minor, unimportant. Why should we look at this picture? So many people won't look at this picture, including me. A lot of text, and again, over-reliance on linguistic means. Do we really interact with this text, or we only focus on specific things we need to hear? After, or having done this kind of listening task, can we really say that we have interacted with the text, that we understand it deeply? Well, sometimes not really. What can we do instead of this? For example, my favorite Venn diagram, which teaches you analytic skills and a little bit of visual spacing of the material. You can listen to two people talking about different kinds of sports, namely tennis and basketball, and put down some kinds of things that they have in common and different. Another thing, you might think, oh, this is a young learners course. Not really, this is the IELTS prep course. Listen and follow the map, listen and draw, listen and label, listen and correct. All these kinds of skills are connected with this visual literacy. And some people, depending on the social context, here I come to social semiotics and social linguistics, may not know how to read this map. Yes, it could be a problem. And I think some of you who are preparing for IELTS and who are familiar with this type of task might say, yes, that sometimes happens. My favorite one is basically IELTS task, which is connected with visual literacy. So being able to identify what is happening in the picture, in the graph, basically to analyze this information and to reproduce this information. What can be done about this kind of thing? Why don't we start teaching visual literacy as well? Like we pair our students, one of them is going to have a blank piece of paper with probably some kind of graph bars, yes? And another one is going to have this kind of beautiful graph. Why don't they have a kind of a visual dictation? Yes, so it will be viewing, listening, representing, and later they can use it in writing. So one of them is dictating to another one what is happening in these graphs or in the bar charts or pie charts, whatever you wish. And another person is trying to reproduce what they hear. So that could be one of the things to work with. It's only a tiny portion of visual literacy, multimodality, and why it is important in learning and in learning languages. And I think that you will ask yourself a question. Why are the texts mostly so monomodal? And what can I do to make them multimodal? Because it works. Multimodality works. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
My, to the second. Good work.
Thank you.